welcome to Keeping It 100. Today, I'm super pumped. I've got my friend April Giuliano on with me. April lives
Hello.
in Florida. She's in Jacksonville, Florida, so opposite sides of the country. So we don't get to see each other very often. And I know you're really busy, so I'm very grateful that you were able to put time aside today for us. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be on. I love talking to you, so this will be great.
Yay. Awesome. Well, everybody knows that watches Keeping It 100. We love to dive into the deep stuff. We love to talk about the challenges and how we got to the other side. But first, I like to talk about our successes. And I love for you to share with folks about a little bit about one, your journey into real estate, right? You are an entrepreneur and you made that choice to not live that life that a lot of us where we're just like a cog in the wheel, right? And that's a scary journey in and of itself. So share with us if you
Mhm.
a little bit about what got you to real estate.
Okay. So I feel like that I did a lot of things before I found real estate, but it's all sort of entrepreneurial. I knew that I knew very quickly early on after college, I got into a corporate job and very thankful for the experience that I got with them. But I knew early on that I did not want to work for someone. So even though I was making really, really good money, I
Yeah,
wanted out. I just did not want to have to meet a quota. I wanted to be working for myself. And so I dove into restaurants. And so I was doing the restaurant thing. I
know
owned a
that.
restaurant, yep,
Okay.
in New Jersey and did that little pizza place and we did homemade salads and it was great and absolutely loved it. But you really don't make a whole heck of a lot of money
No,
unless you have multiple restaurants. And after I had kids, I knew that this isn't it either. The hours are long. And as
right,
much as I love the restaurant business, because I really do love the restaurant business, I just knew it wasn't going to be for me. So I
right.
took a little bit of time when my kids were young to be a stay-at-home mom, which props to all the stay-at-home moms out there. I figured
Hard,
out very
hard,
quickly that's
hard. Of
also not what I wanted to be.
I love
Even though
it.
I love to like spend time with my kids, gosh,
Of
I
course.
that was probably the hardest thing I did in my entire career and will be the hardest thing. I have a 10, 8, 6, and 2-year old. And so when I got into the business, the three older ones were 3, 2, and 0. And we kind of fell into it. A friend of ours was talking about this wholesaling thing, and I had wholesaled financial products for my
Oh, yeah.
corporation. And I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you can wholesale anything and everything.
Right,
And so when I heard about the wholesaling of the houses, I was like, oh, we can do this. Let's look into it. Jumped right into a mentorship, which I highly recommend. It wasn't Pace's because he didn't have his open yet,
right.
Pace Morby. And so we jumped into it because I just want to learn. I'd always done business mentorships with everything that I did, right? We
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
learn, we have to grow, and that's the best way to do it. So that's what I
yeah.
knew I wanted to do and just jumped into wholesaling. And I remember it was specifically a wholesaling mentorship, but for mailers. And I'm like, oh shoot, I
Okay.
don't have money for mailers right now. I
Right.
want to get into this, without spending money. So I did cold calling.
Oh, yeah.
And I started out cold calling and I just dove into that head first with the babies inside. And it was actually,
Yes.
I started on March 14th of 2020, which do you know
I
what
can't believe
date
you
that
know that.
is?
Like, you know.
Well, the only reason why I know is because it was the very first day of the United States quarantine for COVID.
Oh, snap.
Yes. And
Wow.
I mean, I think we found out Friday
Yeah.
that quarantine starting Monday.
Right, right. Yep,
And
you're
I had
absolutely right.
already like had my systems set up and ready to go. So that's the day I start cold calling was the
Oh
first
my
day of quarantine, which is so hilarious.
You're
So
like, do
I
you
will
have a
never
mask
forget
on?
that.
I can't talk
Yeah.
over the phone unless you have a mask on.
Right. It's actually a pretty good time to cold call, to be honest.
Well, no kidding. Everybody's home
Yeah.
and
So
bored.
that, right, home and bored and talking and scared and ready to sell their house. And, uh, I think it's funny because, it's like there's never a bad time to get into real estate, right? I
No.
start on the day of quarantine, even at a, little cocktail party we were at the other day, somebody was like, should we get in now? I'm like, You should always get in right now.
Get in right now because it's only going up.
Yes,
All there is
exactly.
to it. Yeah,
Always
don't
going
wait.
up, right?
That's right.
So that was how we started. Soon after that is
Wow.
when we started watching videos of Pace Morby, and
Hmm.
we got into his mentorship in May. So we were one of the first people in the mentorship. And I say we because I was talking about my husband and I.
Right.
He's he's my partner. And so we got into his mentorship, and that's really when everything started to take off because I was able to then hook into a community.
Yes.
And that's really when our career took off. And gosh, we haven't stopped since then. I mean, we did wholesaling all that first year. We did a total of a little over 40 deals, which I will say one of them was a
Impressive.
portfolio of 14 houses. What that was life changing. But I
Yes.
count that towards the 40 because it was 40 houses.
I love it. You're so
um,
honest. I love that about you.
yes.
You're so transparent.
And then we, at the end of 2020, did our first flip, and we were like, wow, this is awesome. This flipping is great. And so we started flipping, and then just kind of acquiring some rentals. So all of our properties, besides two, we own, I want to say, 18 houses, but more doors than that because we also do co-living.
Yep.
18 houses, some of them are rentals, some of them are Airbnb, some of them are co-living. Because in the beginning, it started off as rentals. Then
Nope.
we're like, oh, we're going to do Airbnbs, so we have
That's right.
those, and
That's
and
right.
then it's okay. Now we're going to do co-living. It's
Yep.
kind of how it works.
Oh, I
So we
got the
have
same. Oh yeah,
a
I've got
mixture of
I got the
everything.
short term, I got the
Yeah,
midterm, I don't have as many doors as you, but same thing, right? I've got the
right.
multifamily, got the co-living.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And now, now like you, I'm all in on the co-living. But and so we just, started growing our business, and that's where we land today. It's been 6 years, little over 6 years, or a little over 5 years. We're in our 6th year.
April, I want to just focus for people that are listening but haven't maybe met you before or are just getting started in real estate or they don't even know anything about real estate. I just want to focus on the fact that you and your husband, you are very successful for especially for the short time you've been in real estate, but also it's a long time that you've been in real estate. When you look at the bigger community, if you take Pace Morby's community as sub two community, there's like 15,000 people.
Hmm.
Most have only been part of that for year, 2 years, right? Something like that. You guys in your first year, 40 doors. That's outrageous. That is something that takes many people years and years to build up to. I imagine that it's partly, I know you enough to know that you are a hustler, and I love that about you. So I imagine a big piece of that is also about just your personality, right? You're super driven, like you're not going to let things stop you. But also there's probably some systems that you put in place early on that I'd be really curious if you could share with folks that maybe are just getting started about, what are the tools or the systems that you guys used early on that you think helped you excel? And maybe it was
Yes.
tools, maybe it was just you being a badass.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Everybody's like, April, you're a closer. I'm like, I'm really not. I just am persistent and, follow up. And if I want something, then I go after it. It's like Alex Hermosi always says, like, just ask and ask and ask and ask and ask and ask, right? Pace
Yeah.
says the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's what we have for free is the ask. We have an
It's true.
unlimited number of asks
That's it.
given to us in this life.
That's right, baby.
So, in the beginning, the problem that people have is there's too much in front of them. That's the greatest thing about real estate. And the way that you succeed is by niching down. And you
Agreed.
hear me say we have all these things and we do all these things, but we didn't start there. It's the
Right.
one thing that leads to everything else. But if you can't focus on the one thing and niche all the way down, especially now, even in this market,
Right.
you really need to. Back when I first started wholesaling, I mean, even, the call regulations and the text regulations weren't even there yet.
Right.
And
Right.
so now you really have to get really, really, really good at one thing. And that's really what we did is we picked cold calling, and we just hammered in on cold calling for months and months and months and months. And it's not fun. I mean, I
No,
say
no.
if you're starting in this business and you're not crying a little bit, then you're probably doing something wrong. It's blood, sweat,
Agreed.
and tears.
Yeah. Like literally
And
blood, sweat, and
it
tears.
is. And it's totally worth it because it's really not that long that you have to go through that growth phase if
Correct.
you're willing to put in the work and not give up. So if I had said month 2, and how I made my goals is I did activity goals. Your goal should never be a deal. It should be
Right. Agreed.
activity, right?
Yeah.
And so my activity goals, I said I was going to do 30 hours of cold calling a week. And every single week, I had to hit those 30 hours. And then outside of that, I would do some networking and some, hunting for deals in other ways. But my one thing was the cold calling. And
Yep.
if I had said in month 2, like, this isn't working, I'm not going to do this anymore, then I would have never gotten my deal because my deal came in month 4. And
Hmm.
then my deal never, I didn't get just one deal. Then I started getting multiple deals.
Yeah.
And so if I had stopped in month 2 and said, this cold calling thing isn't working because I've just done, 700 hours of cold calling and
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a deal.
Right.
So I did not do that. You have to stick to it, right? So you have to pick your one thing, stick with it. And once you start getting deals that way and you get really, really, really good. And you do that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? So it's simple, but it's not easy
Yeah.
because it's a very simple task. You don't have to be
Great.
smart to do it.
Yeah.
And then obviously the follow up, but it's staying consistent with that. And then once we started getting deals there, and I get to a point where I can't do the lead generation, I
Yeah.
have to put someone else in the lead generation spot. That's when I hired my first cold caller. And now they're generating the leads while I'm following up with the leads, right? And so it's
Yeah.
just a natural progression of the business. But
Yeah.
you have to stick to that one thing and do that one thing without stopping.
That's right.
Everything works. Everything.
Yeah, it does. I love that you're focused on this right now and having this
Yeah.
conversation. Yeah. I and I agree, like you, how we talked about, oh, I had, multifamily and I have this and I have that. But it all stemmed from I started in private money lending and I became an expert in the area that I was working in. And I totally niched down, got super clear, learned all the things I could learn, started supporting other people, started making money. That gave me the freedom then, did that for a year and a half to go. I don't know that I love this, but now I have the money. I've got the machine generating income. Let me go see. I want to learn about multifamily. And then that allowed me to pivot while still having that business operating. I was able to pivot and kind of learn a little bit about multifamily, buy a multifamily, see if I loved it. But you're absolutely right. You have to just stick with it. You've got to be consistent. And it's so true that that phrase that, you only fail if you quit. And it's the truth. If you keep going, you're not gonna fail.
Exactly. And you may find at the end of a year that, hey, this isn't for me. But I think at the end of that year, you would have created so many opportunities
Correct.
that then you can kind of start to find, where your path is. I think that's the hardest part for people to figure out in the beginning is where is my path? Um,
No.
but it doesn't have to be the permanent path. It just needs to be the path for the next 12 to 18 months, and
Yes.
hopefully it is your permanent path, you know?
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend pick your one thing, focus on that one thing until you start making money, and it's going to produce so many more opportunities like it did for us.
Yep.
At the end, so I would say now 6 years later, I'm no longer direct to seller.
Right.
That's not something that I chose to keep doing, but I also outside of it was networking and branding and doing all these other things that I did like. And that started creating so many opportunities that now my business for my flipping business and my leads stem from wholesalers and agents
Right. They're
and
bringing the deals
helping other
to
people.
you.
Now they're bringing the deals to me.
Yeah.
Now I have deals coming to me. I don't have to go out and look for them
Right.
anymore. But I did in the beginning, and my business just kind of evolved.
Yeah. Love that. So obviously it has not been all highlight reels as we call it. can you walk us through maybe one of your most challenging times in your career and what were some of the tools that you use that help you kind of get out of that space?
Yeah, so I think, as interest rates started going up, it's been navigating all of that, especially in the flipping business, the market
Right.
completely changed. And so it okay, so we started flipping in 2020 and we had great success in 20 and 2021. Oh my gosh, we made so much money. And then all the rates started changing and I remember we had gotten into this partnership with some friends to go and flip this house. Unfortunately, because of the rate change and some other unforeseen circumstances, things just kind of went sideways, right? And it started going sideways with a lot of the deals. And so it was a very hard time. And I remember thinking, okay, I can either quit now and lose all of the money that we made because we're going to lose some money on some deals here. And, we had made so much money that we were able to kind of float that.
Yeah, yeah, of
But
course.
I can either lose everything that I've built up for, or I can double down and I can keep going. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what we did. Because I hear a lot of people, they'll say, well, I lost all this money. And so I got scared and I stopped. If you lose money, and I would even say this in private lending, if you lose money, don't stop. You
Yeah,
have to keep going
I agree.
because I believe that you will make that money back tenfold.
Agreed.
If you quit, then you lost.
I cannot agree more. I've had a couple deals in private money lending that for whatever reason, they look like a great deal. Well,
Yes,
sometimes things happen, right? And so yes, I've
unforeseen.
lost
Yeah,
quite a bit of money, but I didn't quit. I didn't give up. I learned from all of those. So now the
exactly.
next deal I did it different. I did it better. I pivoted on some things. But to your point, yeah, I've made all that money plus some back. So
Right. And
I'm
it's
proud
funny
of it.
because, going into this, we were just looking for, some of the best deals. And some of those deals that kind of went sideways where we lost money, then it kind of made us dial in on where our buy box was.
Yes.
And so, that's kind of where we started going into the affordable living space.
Love that.
And now, we only have very specific neighborhoods that we go in. This is what we look for. These are the types of housing we have. It's mostly FHA and VA loans. We're in this,
Nice.
2 to 500 ARV, and we strictly stay to our buy box.
Yeah,
And not that, we haven't lost money since then, because
for
again, you
sure.
are going to lose money. There's always unforeseen circumstances,
Mhm.
but that, it's like what you said, every time you make a mistake, you say, "Oh, okay, next time this is what we're going to look for," right?
Yeah.
It's like a mastermind out of your mistakes. I loved that comment that you said on my Instagram. We got a
Oh,
mastermind out of mistakes
yes, yes, yes. It's a mastermind, a mistakes mastermind.
out there. That's exactly what it is. So it's a blessing when you make those mistakes because it makes you better and it makes you stronger, that you can keep going. And so I would just say to anybody, you are going to go through hard times as an entrepreneur. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not an easy market out there.
no.
I don't love putting out the highlight reels. It's just,
Yeah.
I also know that people, don't like to, I'm not trying to be negative,
Right,
but
right. There's
it's
that
not
balance.
always easy and it's stressful. You know, people are always like, because I'll do, I'll have anywhere from 15 to 20 flips going at a time. And I have 4 kids
That's
and I own these
crazy.
properties that
Yeah.
people say, I don't know how you do it. What's the hardest part? I'm like, the lawns.
Yeah. Well, no
The
kidding.
dang lawns. I wake up at night like, is the lawn cut?
Is the lawn mowed?
Because,
Exactly.
Florida, it's raining all the
It's raining all
time.
the time.
And in
Yep.
the
We have a place in
summertime,
Tampa.
yeah,
Yep. I know the
it's
Tampa place. I'm always like, the gardener again? Like, didn't we just have him
it's
here
they
like
leave and
a
two
month
seconds
ago?
later,
Right.
so I'm
Right.
like, so those are the little things that like keep me up at night, the lawns, and so it is stressful and it is hard, but it's like this is it, right? There's nothing else.
Nope.
I'm in it for life. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter what happens. Like
that's right.
it's going to work, and it is the pathway to freedom. I get to decide what I want to do, when I want to do it. I get to hang out with my kids. They see me working. I mean, I'm in the house. Right now I have an office here and they can come and go as they please. They know I'm working, they know what I'm doing.
Yep.
And I get to be there for them too. So
Yeah.
I make the life that I want to live. And it can be, I can pursue being a billionaire, or I can pursue just, having enough to live off of. That's, you
That's
get
your
to
choice.
decide.
That's right.
Like I don't necessarily need to be a billionaire like Pace.
Right.
I'm good.
Me
You
too.
know?
I feel the same. And like, Pace, if you're watching, I would never tell you this, but
Yeah.
right, and it's different lives, different dreams and things, but yeah, I'm with you on that. Like I don't need
Yeah.
to be a billionaire. I want to be extremely comfortable so that I have freedom of time so I can go do the things that I love, a lot of which are serving people. Of course, I want to have money. I'm sure you guys are the exact same way so that we
Yes,
can
that's what
support
we're
our
doing.
community and to serve people and as
Yes.
well as build our own generational wealth. Those things are all really
Exactly. And
important.
that will happen for you,
Yes,
that
it
will
will.
happen for you. And as you get into it, it's like you do want more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. I you brought up just so many great points. It's funny, of course I have my little question, my list of questions that I like to ask, and you're so great because like you answered most of those just so organically because it's all just a flow of how it is, how you started, where you're at. But you keep mentioning the similar thing over and over, and it's so important for people to make sure they heard this. It's all about the consistency, staying true to yourself and you cannot give up. It's so you and you've said this multiple times. It is very hard. This is a hard any entrepreneurship is hard. Um, but if you just keep at it and you keep chipping away, I love how you said your goals, keeping them like action oriented, not just I want my first deal, but that steps, the action steps that it takes to get to that first deal. That's what's important. Um,
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So the other thing you mentioned too is that when you weren't, cold calling, when you started doing these things, you were outside building relationships, and I know you
Yes.
still do that, and that is so vital. And I live in a place in Oregon where I'm out 4 hours away from the nearest group of community members that are involved in real
Oh,
estate.
wow.
Right. But you can still build relationship. I've had a lot of people go, well, I live here and I just that. And it's so easy to make excuses. But the reality is, if I set time and I go, hey, April, I'd love to get on a call with you because I really want to get to know you. I don't live anywhere near you. And so I probably won't ever get to like meet you in person for a long time. But you still reach out, you make that connection. You can build a relationship with people via Zoom. It
Yeah,
is
I mean,
possible.
I started networking during COVID
Oh yeah,
where
solid
we couldn't
point.
even go anywhere,
Right, good point.
and so I made lots of friends and lots of connections. I don't You know, I think we're lucky. Like once we were able to start meeting together, that was definitely important to me. And so I think that everybody should set goals of how many events that they want to go to, and hit the. So that's another thing. You set goals.
Hmm.
I don't like to travel a lot. I think anybody who's close to me knows that I don't like to
Yeah.
leave my kids for any because they're little, and it's
Yeah,
important
you
to
got
me
littles.
to
Yeah.
be here when they're little, and we have no family here.
Right.
So we have no one that can really help us. So if I leave, then it's just my husband with the four kids. So I don't, but I do have goals where, hey, I'm going to go to Orlando for a couple of days, which is just a couple hours south of me. So I try to do that twice a year where I go to some event. And then I also have my own meetups that I do once a month. So
That's
I
right.
definitely think you need to set goals for how many meetups you're going to go to, but you also can network online. And that's exactly what I did in building
Mhm.
connections. And it's the same thing with setting up any type of lead generation system, you have to be consistent and persistent with that too. It's funny because I tell people when they reach out to me, if I don't answer, then reach out to me again.
That's
I
right.
appreciate when people remind me,
Yes.
a couple of times. And I also know that you're serious because I really don't have time to talk to everybody,
No.
which is why I actually do a weekly Zoom where I invite people
Right.
in
Yep.
to come, and I will chat with you all day on the weekly Zoom and let
That's
everybody
right.
else in.
Yes.
So I can tell people how to get into that weekly Zoom if they're interested in that at the end of the call. But
Yes. Please.
I appreciate when people reach out to me. So when I hear, oh, I reached out to a couple people and I didn't hear anything back, how many times did you reach out to them?
That's right.
If you
That's
only
right.
did it once, then you didn't do it.
You didn't do it. I
So
love that you say
it's,
that. Yeah, I tell
yeah.
people that all the time. I'm like, I do my very best to get back to everybody. And sometimes I open your text, I've read it, and I get pulled away and I didn't respond. So I do want to always respond. So if you don't hear back from me in 24 to 48 hours, bug me. Say,
Yes,
hey, Trace, because like you said, that lets me know that you're serious.
exactly. I appreciate that. And I
Yeah.
actually will jump on the phone with people that are like, hey, I'm sorry. Do you have time? When you
Yeah.
have time, please,
Yep.
you also, the hey, can you jump on for 5 minutes or go to coffee? You need to bring a little bit of value, right? Like
Thank you very
bring
much.
me value because
Right.
picking my brain, I don't have time for you to pick my brain. Go
Nope.
on my
Come to my
YouTube
weekly call.
channel, go on my school, go
Yep.
on here, do some research, and
Yeah.
then come to me with some value, right? Hey, can
Yep.
I find you some deals? Where can I find you deals? I was looking at this house. What do you think about this? I will underwrite and comp properties for people all day long
Yeah.
because they sell them to me then. And
That's
I
right.
buy them. I'm the first in line. I mean, that's a
That's
part of
right.
the inbound lead thing.
That's right.
So you want to bring people value. Don't just, like do your own research before you call and pick your
Yes. Yeah.
brain. Go to a
Yeah.
meetup, attend their Zooms,
Exactly.
and then once you've created some credibility, I'm sure that, they would be more than happy to have a call with you, which I know I've done for people who
Yeah.
have come to my meetups. Like,
Yes.
yes, I want to help you. I want to help you grow your business because I know that you're serious.
Correct. I love that you just said all of that. It's so true. It's so frustrating when somebody comes to me, they DM me or they text me, and they're asking a question that if you took 2 minutes to research me,
Yes.
you'd find I have multiple YouTube videos that go in depth with your question. You'd find answers on my Instagram or on my Facebook. And that's usually my response is you clearly haven't spent any time researching me or whether or not I can provide that answer to you online. So the answer to your question is, do I have 5 minutes for you? Is no.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Exactly.
And that's not being mean. It is just one, like you said, there is not enough time in the day to talk to all the people. And I would much rather devote the time that I have every day. I set aside a block of time to talk to people that I haven't met that need support, whether it's on my free weekly calls like you do, or it's a one-on-one. And I'm not going to boggle that time up with people that can't even be bothered going to my YouTube channel to see that I have 25 videos on underwriting co-living. Like, because I'd rather spend that time with people that know and they come to me and go, hey, I've watched your 25 videos on underwriting. I have some questions. All day long, I'm like, let's go. I
You're
want to talk to
right.
you.
Right. Because you put in the legwork.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
now you know that that person is probably going to bring you some deals.
that's right. That's
Yep.
right.
That's what
Yeah,
you want to do.
that's it. I love this conversation. Because for me, the keeping it 100 name is really about just the journey, the honest journey, the wins, the losses, all the moments in between. And really also choosing like truth over image, having the courage to just step up and be honest. I think some of that gets lost in translation with social media. And I love that about you is that you're just an upfront, honest person. You're gonna talk straight, shoot from the hip kind of thing. And that's kind of just what we're talking about right now is this is a reality, right? You probably get hundreds of DMs a week. And what do and folks that are listening and you're sending those part of the DMs, you've got to bring value, like April said. You've got to bring something to the table. And not everybody will talk about that. I think some people just, they ignore it, where you and I are a little bit more straightforward. I will definitely reach back out to people and say, look, why, like, give me something. Like, why would I meet with you? Right? I've
Right.
got 40 other people that are on the list to talk. Tell me why you.
Right. Right. But yet, if you called me, I would definitely call you back because I know that
Yes,
you've added a lot of value to my life and helped
we're
me a lot.
doing the things. Well, thank
Yes.
you. Yes, I feel the same way.
And everybody can get to that point.
That's
It's just
right.
there's just so many resources out there. And that's actually one of the reasons why I created the free school
Yes.
because I'm like, let me just send people over here and give them my videos, and let them look at my YouTube. And then that way they can
Yes.
even go on the school and ask the questions. And, you
Yeah,
know, I-
explain that a little bit to people, because not everybody even knows what school is, and it's
yes.
such a valuable resource that you've created. Will you explain a little bit of that
Yes,
to
and
people?
it's SKOOL. And
Point.
I created the community because I was getting hundreds of DMs and I couldn't answer everybody. And I wanted to be create a space where people could come and ask questions. And so I have like a little classroom in there where I give some, basic tips and tricks on how to get started in wholesaling if you want to do wholesaling, and then I do a Monday call. It's the Zoom link and everything is through my school and I do all the announcements through my school, but everybody's invited. It's easy for me, and then I keep all my recordings in there because, people are like, "Hey, can I have your recording? Can I do this? Can I get in your
That's
Zoom?" And
right.
I'm like,
In
"Just go to
school, in
this
school,
one
in school.
space
Yes,
and everybody's there. This is totally free. I'm not charging anything for this.
that's
Just
right.
bring me your deals,
That's right.
And I even in my school I have a link that people can submit their leads,
Love
and
that.
we can do deals together. So it's just an easy way to not have to have the 5-minute conversation, but to
Yes,
still add value to people's lives that now they can go and find the resources. I would still say that if you're not in a mentorship, that's not a mentorship. That's
correct.
just some basic community. I still want to refer people to get into mentorships. I still have, hey, go over into the sub two mentorship, learn creative financing. I'm not teaching creative financing here. I'm just trying to help you break into getting into real estate, answering basic questions. Um, and it's a nice community, right? So people
Yeah,
all over the world. I had a guy from Europe on one of my calls once, and he
love it.
was,
Yep,
very interested in getting into real estate in the United States. And then he connected with another sub two member, sub two, Pace Morby's, who's in Spain. And he was in Eastern Europe and she was in Spain, and they connected and they talked, which I thought was really cool, all
that's
through
so
my school,
cool.
through my Zoom. So it's just there's emotional rewards for that too,
Yes,
is I just connected people from across the world,
pretty
and
special.
help you get to help people get their first deal. Like one of my I don't want to say students, but one of the people on my school platform, he just got his first deal and he sold it to me, so I'm flipping it, and
Yeah,
that was really
baby.
fun. So we
That's
went over all that, and then
exciting.
I post that up so other people can watch it. So I'm really enjoying doing all that too,
I love
and it's
that.
all free.
Right, and that's the power of this, guys, is that you hang in there, you put in the work, you put in the time, you bring value to people, and then you get to a place where April is, and I'm not as far along as you, but similarly in the space of having the time and the ability to give yourself freely, provide resources for free. That is, like you said, emotionally, it feels so good when people come to me, and I'm sure you feel the same way, and they need support, and you're like, I have this place. We have a Facebook group. You've got your school community. Go to this one location, and there is so much information there, and it's all free, and it's so tailored to that specific niche that I think it's really helpful. It's super cool. I love
Yes, yeah,
I love
I
it.
hope so. I hope it is.
Oh, I hear really wonderful things. I know some people that have gone through your flipping course. So tell us, what other things do you have going on that people that support people? We know about your free school community, but you have other
Yes.
things you're working on.
Yes, so I do monthly meetups locally.
Yes, that's
I
right.
feel very strongly. So my market is Jacksonville, Florida, and that's it.
So
That's
smart.
it. I don't go anywhere else.
Yep.
In the last, 5.5 years, this is it, right? You can just drive around one neighborhood and, I can count 17 houses that I see need some TLC, right?
Yeah.
So I go deep here and I don't even go into every zip code. And there's plenty of deals for me. I bought
Jacksonville's a big
37
area.
flips. Right. I mean, and we're less than 1 million people and there's enough.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with staying and knowing your market intimately. I know every
Agreed.
area very intimately. I know where I want to buy, where I don't. So the local community here is very important to me. I like to build up, my reputation here as well as outside of the community to know like, hey, if you want to come and work here in Jacksonville, and even though you're in Oregon or you're in Maine, you can work in my market and you can work with me and I'm your buyer.
Love it.
And I can, tell you everything you need to know about Jacksonville. So send me a deal in Orlando. I'm probably going to shoot that over to somebody else.
That's right.
Send me a deal in Tampa. I'll shoot that. I'll tell you to go to look, look for Raphael or whatever.
That's right.
Very important. So I do monthly meetups and I do them with Jamie. Jamie is our social media manager,
That's right.
both of us. And I
Love Jamie.
teamed up with Jamie and Janessa and we've been doing them for, I want to say 3 years now,
Yeah.
as well as we named it Suncoast Investors just this year because before we were just kind of doing it under our name. Now we have a
Yeah.
name for it. And
Great.
yeah, I know it's sweet. So we have been doing them for about 3 years. We do all different kinds. So once a quarter, we'll do a in-person lead generation seminar where we meet in a classroom and we go over leads. And then the other months in the quarter, we just do strictly networking where you just come and hang out and find the people that you want to connect with. And we have food and drinks and, just hang out and have a good time.
Yeah.
So those will be the other months. And then I also offer a flipping class that we do charge for because it's an immersive flipping class. And
Yeah.
we only do those twice a year. So we just did our first one in March and it was so fun. I only accept 10 people.
I've
So it's
heard
very small.
awesome things. I know a couple people that were
Oh,
in it
oh,
and just
good.
such great things
It was
about it.
so
So
fun.
tell
We
us,
had
yeah, tell us
so much
more
fun.
because I
So
love
it's
the way you structured it is pretty fantastic.
it's very immersive. We start on Friday night just having an intimate, delicious dinner. We go someplace really nice and we just hang out and get to know each other. And then Saturday we spend all day in the classroom and we just dive into everything SOPs, and I share my entire flipping business, the entire thing, from nuts to bolts, all of it. So you
Wow.
can see how you can, build your flipping business and do because I'm a believer that, you can do 1 to 2 a year, but if you lose money, because you will lose money
Oh yeah.
on one, then you only have the other one. Whereas if you're doing 5 to 10 in a year, which is totally doable for anybody, even if you have a W-2, the way that I have my system set up, I mean, people say, I don't know how you do 15 to 20 at a time, and I don't feel it
Right,
because
because
I
you have
have
good
my
systems
we have
and stuff.
systems and processes in place.
Yeah.
And so I show people what that looks like. And, I don't have anybody on my payroll besides
Right.
my husband and I have strategic partners
Yes.
that do everything for me. And we
Yes.
just have, our communication channels. I
Yep.
shouldn't say I don't have anybody on my payroll. I have my executive assistant on my payroll. And she's a
Sure.
VA. She works in the Philippines
Love it.
and
Yep.
she's amazing.
Yes.
So I have strategic partners mostly, and I show people all of that, all my systems. And then we spend a whole entire day out in the field, which I thought was the funnest,
I bet.
visiting all my flips, like showing, practicing marketing budgets on several different flips, showing people how to blue tape, which is going in after the contractors and looking for inconsistencies and what's important and what's really not important and that type of stuff. And so we just hang out in the field all day and practice getting budgets. So that way, because you're going to be going and looking at flips and you
Right.
need to know because you're not always going to have time to get a contractor in there. Now,
Correct.
we always say like you want to verify if you can as much as
Yes.
possible. But to even be able to know before you're going in, like, I already know I need this, 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 and this. Now let's go in and see what else I need to know and just practice that repetition. That's what we do in the seminar. And then I offer all of my students to find, and so this is where it benefits me too, find a deal and I'll
Yeah.
flip with you.
I love it.
But we also learn about the financing. And what's really cool is one of my students, so I will only do a deal in Jacksonville, but I had people from Arizona come in. I had people from Miami, and then I had
Wow.
people from Lakeland. And one of my Lakeland students did not want to flip in Jacksonville, and they just found their first deal and they closed escrow about 2 weeks ago, and they're in the renovation process. And I
Yeah.
helped them get the financing. I helped them
Yep.
raise the money. I will help do all of that because I want all my students to succeed at least on their first flip, whether
Yeah.
it's with me or whether it's in your hometown with somebody else.
Yes. Wow. April, that's phenomenal. I think one of the things that you mentioned earlier too is about having a mentor, being in a mentorship and having a community. But when you're dialing down to something like flipping, I highly recommend, like you said, join a community like Pace Morby's. You'll get a lot of the foundational knowledge. Super important. It's same with co-living. You need to understand the foundations, and then you need somebody to walk you through the processes and the steps.
Yes.
Otherwise, it seems completely overwhelming. We have 5 projects going right now, and people are like, how can you manage that? We have systems and process.
Right.
We have strategic partnerships. Like you, other than my VA, we don't have staff, but we have a lot of partners that are strategically placed on the projects that's how we can be successful. But you don't learn that. It's hard. You can learn it on your own. You learned it on your own. I learned it on my own. It takes a long time. You make a lot of mistakes. I don't recommend it to
Yes.
anybody. So when you can, yeah, you join a mentorship like yours. You join a opportunity where someone like yourself is going to walk people through the process.
Yes. And I hear so many people. I mean, I would say that pretty much everybody that's in real estate wants to do a flip because it's
Oh
kind
yeah, they
of a
do.
no-brainer.
Oh yeah, but I
But
cannot stand flipping. Okay,
nobody,
I'm just gonna
okay,
say
you,
like
all
I've
right,
done a
you don't
couple,
want to, but
hate
most
it.
people do,
I
right? Like
know
most
it's
people
so
are like, I mean, because sometimes it's just a no-brainer, right? If
it's
you're going to
true.
make
It's true.
$50,000
It's right.
and, you're a stay-at-home mom, one of my students, her husband works for Florida Fish and Wildlife, and she's a stay-at-home mom. I mean, so they make like
They're struggling.
$40,000 a year.
Yeah, exactly.
She just did her first flip and she made $35,000. She pretty much made the same. I
Yeah,
mean, that is life
that's life
changing.
changing.
And she didn't do the work.
Right.
She found the deal and she got it
Yeah,
funded. But from there, the contractors do the work,
that's
right?
right.
And you go in and you check in on it. It's not super, super time consuming. Now
Right.
she's already bought her second one. We'll probably have a second one sold by the end of the year and would have made
Ooh,
$70,000. I
that's
mean, so they
amazing.
went from a $40,000 household income to a $100,000 household income.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
life changing.
That is life changing.
And so I think that it can be life changing for just about anybody, even if you have a job, you have
Yes.
kids at home. It's just not as time consuming, which is one of the reasons why I, moved away from the direct to seller and I'm flipping and I'm helping people, and that's bringing me deals.
Love
Because the
it.
thing that I like to do is the branding and, the public speaking. I love
Yep.
all that.
Yep.
So I merged into do it, finding the things that were good, but still have to have the lead generation,
Yeah.
right? And my flipping business just kind of runs itself.
It's
But I would
amazing.
say that most people want to, that are in real estate should, even if they don't want to flip. Maybe not,
Yes. No,
maybe not
I've done a
everybody.
couple. It's just not my jam, but I have done
Right.
a couple.
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
I was
Yeah.
even talking to Pace at Ann's event a couple of weeks ago, and he had completely gotten out of it for a little while. But then he was like, well, now I got to get back in it because
Yeah.
I got this deal and somebody brought me this deal. And
That's right. It's
he's
kind of
like,
hard
now
to
it's just kind
resist.
of a no-brainer. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. You don't have to make like a whole business out of it like I have, but nobody wants to do their first one by themselves. It's a
No.
little daunting and it's scary. And
Oh,
so
absolutely.
that's what, we're offering, with, anybody who needs help. My student that just got their first deal called and they're like, okay, you know, the there's too much cat pee in the tiles. Do we need to
What do
rip
we
the
do?
tiles up?
Yep,
Yes, you need to rip the tiles up.
that's
Spend
right.
the extra money.
That's right.
Those, like, they
Yeah.
have someone to call. That's what you need. You need to have someone to call.
100%. Yes. That's exactly right. All of the things, whatever you're doing, it can be scary at first. It can even be scary 2 years, 3 years into it, right? Like it depends. It grows. You start with, I'm just buying these little converted co-living and now I'm building brand new 10-bedroom co-living. Like
Yeah.
it was scary then. It's still, it grows. But having someone to hold your hand is so key.
Yes.
Um, so as we wrap it up, how can people reach out to you? They're going to hear this, and if you've ever thought about flipping, you need to reach out to April. The program she's got going on, I've heard amazing things from friends that are in it. What's the best way for people to reach out to you?
So my Instagram handle, I have it up here
Yep,
on my name. I don't know if you can see the whole thing.
yep,
It's
I think so.
April N. Giuliano. And in my Instagram, you can go to my link tree
Perfect.
and follow me on Instagram. And in my link tree, you can find my YouTube, you can find my school community, and you can find Suncoast Investors, which is our flipping seminar.
Love it.
So you
Yeah,
can go to Instagram and go to my link tree and find
perfect.
all the resources. I believe some of it's on my YouTube as well, but
Okay.
Instagram's my main jam.
Okay. Yeah, and me too. So people can DM you there. That's probably a good way to
Yes.
reach out. Okay.
Yeah,
And I
DM me
called
there.
you Giuliano, but it's Giuliano.
You know what? It's
Is it
so
Italian?
funny
You're Italian.
because so
Oh, yeah.
it's not, that's my husband's name. I absolutely love it because my maiden name was a Burkholder, so I'm totally
Nope, we're,
fine with
we're
it.
liking Giuliano. Yep.
I feel like it can be Giuliano or Giuliano. I don't think anybody really knows.
I love it. But me,
I
I'm
think
Italian. And so as I heard you say it, I was like, you butchered her Italian name. Your grandmother would be so
no,
disappointed.
I actually think my husband says Giuliano, but I like to say Giuliano. So,
I do
and then
too.
I heard my daughter this morning, she was checking her into camp and she says Giuliano. And I'm like, okay, well, we're all saying something different, just the way.
Whatever. Oh gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
You are amazing. I'm so grateful for your time. Super fun. I learned
Yes.
a lot
Thank you for
about you
having me
today.
on.
Oh my gosh, it's such a pleasure. I love it. So thanks for keeping it 100 with us today. I love to share with folks if today's conversation, if it moved you, if it made you think or reminded you, hopefully that you're not alone in this, right? If you're just getting started in your business, we've all been there. Um, so if you learned something today, you enjoyed it, please give us a share, give us a like. You can find April on YouTube as well. So again, thank you so much. We'll be back again next week and just continuing to follow other people's journeys and keeping it real, showing up and all that good stuff. So thanks everybody. Okay. That was an awful ending. Oh my gosh,
No,
Jamie.
I thought that
I'm
was
so
great.
sorry. I have a script. I hate reading from a script. It just feels so
Oh,
unnatural.
I
And then
was taking notes.
oh, good.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
my
yeah,
head. Like,
yeah.
oh, I
In your
like
head, yeah.
this.
Okay, good. Yeah.
They're so great with their like what they recommend and
Oh
the
my
thing. I
gosh.
couldn't do this without them.
No, absolutely not. And I have Jamie's so patient with me and Janessa because I don't do the best job of keeping up on things. I have actually notes right here next to me on my desk that are from my last call with Jamie. And I looked at him yesterday. I'm like, "Ugh, you're not doing half those things that you're supposed to do."
Yeah.
But they
It's
know
all right.
I'm a work in progress.
Yes, all of
I said.
us. All of
Um,
us.
I loved hearing your breakdown of your workshop because we have a mastermind it's just part of if you invest with us at 50,000 or more, it's just part of
Yeah.
it. It's not like
I
a
saw
paid
that.
thing. So Hawaii will be 2 full days in Hawaii.
Wow.
And I loved your idea, or what you did. I like the idea of maybe having a dinner the night before where it's intimate, nice. So did you pay for that or did you have people pay for? Okay, perfect.
I
That's
paid
that's
for it,
good.
but
Yeah.
no drinks. You pay for your own drinks. I
Mhm.
mean, soda, and I told the
Yeah,
server
no
ahead of
booze, right?
time.
You're paying for your own
So
booze.
my thing too is, I owned restaurants, so I love food.
I
So to
love food.
me, I'm
Yeah.
like, if you feed them well, like there's gonna be a level of like happiness on top of,
Agreed.
so
I love
we
that.
went to and it was a tapas. So it was a really nice tapas place, but it wasn't like an absorbent bill,
Yeah, 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 right.
because it was tapas and I just kind of ordered as whatever people wanted. And it was really, really fun. And the food was amazing. In fact, one of the girls went back there the next night, the one from Orlando,
Uh-huh.
to eat there the next night.
If
She's like,
she
it was
loved it.
so good. I need to go. So I did not provide dinner on Saturday night,
Okay,
but
okay,
I
great,
brought in
great.
an amazing lunch
Lunch.
on Saturday. I had that
Okay.
catered.
Yep.
And then when we were out in the field, we went out to a delicious lunch out in the
Okay,
field.
perfect.
So we
So
did go,
they
and
did
I
their own
paid for all of
breakfast.
those.
Okay. So
Yeah.
dinner Friday, lunch Saturday, lunch Sunday.
And I also did
Drink.
breakfast
Oh,
on
okay.
Saturday, and I did breakfast on Sunday. So I
Okay.
brought in breakfast,
Okay.
and then
Perfect.
we met at a little breakfast place
Yeah.
before we went out into the field, and I bought everybody
On Sunday
breakfast
that
on
was.
Sunday
Okay.
morning. And I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know Hawaii's prices. It might be more,
Yeah, but
but
it's
I
not crazy.
maybe spent eight or $900 on food for everybody.
Perfect.
It wasn't
Okay.
bad at all.
Right. I mean, these are people that are investing 50,000 upwards now.
Right. Yeah. I
So
mean, even if you spent 2 grand
yeah,
on food,
exactly.
that's not
Right.
that
It's not a
much.
big deal, right? When you look at
Yeah.
okay, that's helpful. Thank you. I was just kind of curious your cadence on that. That all makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just a firm believer. Like, let's have
Me
some
too. Feed
delicious
people.
food,
Let's eat good food.
you know?
100%. Oh my gosh,
So,
that cart behind you, that's funny. I have that in the garage
oh,
right now.
I love this cart.
I know, I
Like,
know.
you go like this. Do you see the
You're
camera
like,
moves?
oh, oh yeah. I mean,
I should move this because it's like overflowing right now,
well,
but it's
most
all
of the
right.
time you can't see it. So
I'm
I'm
gonna
in my
like go over
daughter's
here.
bedroom. Okay. So like there's
Oh, yeah, but the way you have it, it's so
you never
cute.
know. You look like I'm in my office. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm starting to move. I'm going to be moving back to Hawaii.
Oh,
So it's just
wow.
it's such a thing. It's like, oh my gosh, just so that's the reason the cart's in the garage because I'm going through things and I love that cart. And so I put it in my daughter's pile. I'm like, please take this cart. It's a great cart. She's like, I
Oh
don't need
my
it. I'm like,
gosh. Why
take
are
it.
you moving to Hawaii?
Well, my daughter's going off to college in the fall, and I've been in Oregon a couple years. I don't love it. Um, And I love Hawaii. I have a house there already. I have a couple
Oh,
properties
okay.
there, but I've got to kick my renters out, which I don't love, but I'm gonna give them 3 months. I won't go till like November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's a process. I got to get my house on the market here. So basically, I'm just trying to strip everything out of the house. The realtor came the other day and he's like, yeah. So I was like, I know, I know. I got a lot of work to do. He's like, yeah, a little bit. I was like, I don't
Well,
need you.
so you're not in a rush then.
No, no, no. It's just going to happen when it happens.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's
I'm
nice.
actively, yeah, I'm excited. I've lived on and off of Oahu and the Big Island since I was in my late teens. And so I love it. I love it so much. I know everybody like Dustin and Pam are like, please just come to Florida. It's equally far. And it is a lot cheaper, but there's just, I don't know, Hawaii is just my jam. So
Yeah.
yeah,
The tsunamis.
they
I'm
don't scare
joking.
me. I know, I
I know.
know.
Well, people say that about the hurricanes here, and I'm like, well, I can understand maybe in like South Florida, but here in
Yeah.
Jacksonville, like where Pam and I live,
Yeah, 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 yeah. I was there for
it's
that last hurricane and it was just
I
windy.
know. I know. I,
Yeah,
I mean, there's worse daily storms
yeah,
than the
exactly. Right,
hurricane.
right, exactly. Right, right. And that's the thing with the tsunamis is, for the most part, you're just looking at a couple foot, 2 to 3 foot rise in the tide.
Yeah.
That's not really going to affect most people. It
Yeah.
might create dangerous conditions in the ocean, yes, but
Yeah.
you know,
I'm
anyway,
joking. Just trying to get you to move to Florida. Just kidding.
you're hysterical. I love you. I know. It's so funny. I know
Uh,
Jamie and Janessa are there, and Dustin's there, and I have a lot of friends in Florida, but
yeah. And
I
we're all here in Jacksonville.
sure you are. And I just remind myself too, like nothing has to be forever. So
Yep.
this is what I've been talking about, wanting to do for a long time. I'm gonna do it. If
Do
I
it.
don't love it, I'll move. Big deal.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, easy.
And me,
Yeah,
good to
yeah.
see you.
You
Good luck
too.
with your
Yeah.
move.
I'll probably see you before then. I'll be in
Okay.
Florida before then, I'm sure.
Oh, okay, cool. All
Yeah.
right.
Cool.
Talk to you
All right,
later.
my friend.
Bye.
Bye.